At our wedding reception, there was no seat for me at the front table. My mother-in-law, Anne, told me that I didn't deserve to sit with the important guests, and that I belonged in the back. She even made her daughter sit with her wealthy ex, Daniel. I calmly walked to the back and sat there for the rest of the event. But what happened after was the real issue. Hello, and thank you for your support. It truly means a lot to us. If you enjoy the stories we share, please subscribe to our channel to help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. It would be wonderful if you could also comment with the city you're watching from, as we might just give you a shout out in our next story. Today's special shout out goes to Maria Torres from Mexico. "You don't deserve to sit here," she says loudly enough for everyone to hear. Her voice cuts through the chatter like a knife, and I freeze. "Your place is in the back," she continues, her tone icy and unblinking, daring me to say anything. The room hums with conversation, but it feels like everyone is watching me now. Forks stop halfway to mouths. I glance at Emily, expecting her to stand up, grab my hand, and tell me to ignore her. She's my wife after all. We just promised to spend our lives together. But instead, she's looking down at her plate, fingers twisting the napkin like it's the only thing keeping her together. Silent. "Emily," my voice cracks, barely a whisper, but she doesn't respond. She doesn't even flinch. That's when I see him, Daniel freaking Klein, sliding into the seat that was supposed to be mine. A tall, confident billionaire with perfectly styled hair, wearing a smug grin like he's already won, and pats his shoulder proudly and gestures toward the back of the room, like she's dismissing a dog. "Go on, Aaron. That's where you belong," she says. My face burns not from anger yet, but from the sting of everyone's eyes on me. The whispers ripple through the room, pity and amusement mixed in their tones. I could stand up for myself, push past Anne, claim my seat and dare anyone to make me leave. But what's the point? Emily's still staring at that napkin, and Daniel's leaning in, whispering something that makes her lips twitch into a smile. My wife is smiling at him. I turn, I walk away. Each step feels like wading through thick mud, the kind that drags you down. The high table fades behind me, and I pass the cousins who'd congratulated me earlier, the bartender who'd given me a celebratory drink. No one stops me. No one says anything. The back of the room is dim, a forgotten corner, where the staff keeps extra chairs, and the overflow guests who no one cares about. There's a table there, half hidden by a pillar, with a few old men nursing beers and a waitress scrolling through her phone. I drop into a chair, the metal creaking under me, and let out a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. From here, I can see everything. The high table's a stage, and they're the stars. Anne is laughing now, her head thrown back, looking like she's never been happier. Daniel's arm is draped casually over Emily's chair like he owns her. And Emily, God, Emily, she's leaning into him just a little enough to make my heart sink. A tilt of her head, a flicker in her eyes. I know that look. I've seen it when she convinced me to buy her favorite overpriced perfume, or when she talked me into ditching plans to watch another of her ridiculous rom-coms. She's playing that charm again. The old man next to me grunts, nursing his beer. "Rough night, huh?" he mutters, not even bothering to glance my way. I don't answer. My hands are clenched in my lap, nails digging into my palms, but I keep my expression flat. I've learned to mask it, to hide the pain. Not for the kids who used to make fun of my worn-out sneakers. Not for the boss who let me go because I wasn't management material. Not even for my mom, who left when I was 14 and expected me to figure things out alone. I've taken my hits, but this one's sharper. The night stretches on. Toasts ring out through the room, the sound of clinking glasses echoing, with Victor's booming voice about true success and Anne raving about endless possibilities. Emily doesn't say a word, but her silence is deafening. I can't touch the food they bring me, some pathetic plate of cold chicken and limp greens. I just watch, each laugh from that table a deeper cut. But I can't look away. It's like staring at a train wreck. You hate it, but you need to see how badly it goes. By the time the band starts in with a slow, cheesy song, I'm numb. The waitress at my table shoots me a sympathetic glance, murmuring, "You don't have to stay." You know, I almost laugh. Where else would I go? This is my wedding, my night. But I'm stuck here in the shadows while they're up there, basking in the spotlight as though I don't exist. The final toast comes from Anne again, her glass raised high, praising Emily's bright future. Daniel taps his glass against hers, and Emily smiles genuine this time, her lips curving into a full warm grin. That's when it hits me. Not the humiliation, not the betrayal. Those are things I can swallow. It's the realization I'm not part of their story. Never was. They didn't just take my seat. They took my whole damn life and handed it to him. I stand up, the chair scraping the floor loud enough to draw a few eyes. But I don't care. I'm not running. I'm not breaking. I walk past the back table, past the old man and the waitress, and stop at the edge of the room. One last look at the high table. Emily's eyes meet mine for a split second, then quickly dart away. That's all I need. I'm done begging for a place at a table they'll never give me. They want me in the back? Fine. But not tonight. Not ever again. I turn toward the door, my steps deliberate, my chest tight with something new resolve, sharp as steel. This isn't the end of my story. It's just the beginning of theirs falling apart. The drive home is a blur, headlights streaking past like shooting stars. The radio spits out static because I can't be bothered to tune it. My hands grip the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles ache. But my mind, it's still stuck back at that damn reception, replaying every second. Anne's sneer, Daniel's smug grin, Emily's silence. Our new home was supposed to be a fresh start. A little 2-bedroom apartment we scraped together half my savings, half her trust fund. I painted the walls myself, hauled boxes up the stairs while she laughed about my sweat-soaked shirt. Now it feels like a prison, and I'm walking right back into it. The key's still warm in my pocket, a reminder of when I thought it meant something. It's well past midnight when I push open the door. The place is dark, quiet, except for the hum of the fridge. Emily's already there, sitting on the couch in her reception dress. The white lace is crumpled, like she's been waiting for something. Buying time, Ethan? Her voice is soft, hesitant, but she doesn't look up. It wasn't a big deal. Mom she wanted Daniel up there. He's important to her. You know that. I laugh, but it's sharp, jagged. That was my seat. Next to you, my wife, and you let him take it, like I'm some nobody you dragged along. You're overreacting. She stands, smoothing her dress, her voice picking up that defensive edge she gets when she knows she's losing. It's just how things work with her. She's always been like this. You knew that when you married me. I stare at her, waiting for her to say something that means more than excuses. But nothing comes. Just the same empty apology, like dirt under my feet. And you smiled while they did it. I'm not your doormat anymore, Emily. She starts shuffling through some papers, scanning them like she's searching for a loophole. You planned this before the wedding, didn't you? I hoped I wouldn't need them. My throat's tight now, the words scraping out. I thought you'd prove me wrong. You didn't. The room goes quiet, just the ticking of the clock on the wall and her shallow breathing. She stares at me, and I see it half defiance, maybe regret flickering in her eyes. I grab my duffel from the closet, the one I've had since I was a kid, patched up with duct tape, and start stuffing it jeans, a couple of shirts, my work boots, the essentials. Every zip and rustle echoes in the silence, and I feel her shadow in the doorway, lingering, like she's waiting for me to crack. I don't. I shoulder the bag, grab my keys, and walk past her without a glance. Her perfume hits me jasmine, same as always, and for a second, my resolve wavers. But then I remember. I walk out the door. The road stretches out, black and endless, headlights slicing through it. My hands are steady now. The ache in my knuckles is gone. I don't know where I'm going, maybe a motel, maybe my buddy Jake's couch, but it doesn't matter. What matters is this. I'm not theirs to define anymore. Not Anne's punching bag. Not Emily's backup plan. I signed those papers too, in my head, long before she put pen to page. This isn't just me leaving a house. It's me breaking free. The city lights fade in the rear view. Jake's place is free at least, and he doesn't ask questions. He just tossed me a spare key and a beer, muttered rough break, man, and left me to figure out the rest. That's what I'm doing now, figuring it out. The TV's on low some late night infomercial about a blender. That'll change your life, but I'm hunched over my laptop, grease-stained fingers tapping the keys. I'm a mechanic by trade, always have been, and I've got an idea brewing. A garage of my own. No boss, just me, some tools, and a couple of guys who need work. Then, My phone pings again. A text this time. Aaron, it's Mom. Answer your damn phone. I smirk, tossing the phone face down, letting her stew. Jake shuffles in from the kitchen, cracking a beer, crunching numbers. There's a garage for lease downtown, he says, tossing me a piece of paper. Grimy spot, oil-stained floors. But rent's cheap enough if you sell the truck. It's a start. A real one. Meanwhile, across town, Anne's losing her mind. I can see it now, her red nails tapping against her granite counter. Phone pressed to her ear, leaving me another voicemail I won't hear. Aaron, this is ridiculous. We need access to the house. You can't just disappear like this. She's pacing that opulent living room, white rugs, gold-trimmed armchairs, and I'll bet she's got that look in her eye. The one that says everything's crumbling around her, and she can't figure out why. That's how I wanted visible but not weak building. Not begging. Another memory sneaks in. Christmas 2 years ago. Anne's heat went out, and she called me in a snowstorm to fix the furnace. I'd crawled under her mansion, hands numb, breath fogging the air while she sipped wine upstairs and complained about the cold. Emily had brought me coffee after, kissed my cheek and said, "You're the best." I'd believed it then, thought it meant something. Now I see it for what it was, pity, not love. They counted on me, but now they're realizing they shouldn't have. Back at Anne's, the phone slams down. I don't hear it, but I know it's happening. She's furious. Her voice is probably echoing off those high ceilings. How dare he ignore me? Emily's quieter now, maybe staring out the window, wondering where I went. They're scrambling, realizing too late that I wasn't just a help. I was the glue. The house, the cars, the little fixes they never thanked me for. It's all slipping away now, and they've got no one to blame but themselves. I lean back on the couch, the springs groaning underneath me, sticking to my skin. And I love it. It's mine. Aaron's auto painted in bold red letters above the roll-up door. Took every dime I had left, selling the truck and scraping by on ramen. But I logged down the lease with a grizzled old guy who shook my hand like he meant it. Downtown's gritty, cracked pavement, neon signs, but this corner, my kingdom now. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, tools clattering against concrete, and I'm building something, piece by piece, bolt by bolt. That's a sweet talker, that thing, Sam says. Boss, or just glare it into submission. Shut up and hand me the 10mm. I shoot back, grinning despite myself. Sam's a find. He showed up with a toolbox and a story about ditching a dead-end gig upstate. He doesn't pry, doesn't care about my baggage, just works hard and cracks jokes that keep the days from dragging. He sees me for what I am now, not what I was. That's enough. Across town, or maybe across the state. I don't keep tabs. Emily's world is starting to fray. I don't hear it straight from her. But when Sam nods toward the radio, some classic rock station we keep low, he says, "Heard your ex's mom lost her Benz." I pause, wrench still in hand. Yeah. Neighbor's cousin works at the bank. Said she's been dodging calls, screaming about lawyers. Sam snorts. Guess money don't buy brains. I don't say much, just grunt and go back to working on the Mustang. But inside, there's a flicker satisfaction, slow and warm, like a match catching fire. They're hearing it, the whispers of creditors turning away. We can't keep up. I'm good at this, damn good, and it's starting to show. There's a rhythm to it, a pulse I can feel in my bones. Fix a car, send it roaring back to life, pocket the cash. No high table, no velvet curtains, just me and the work. It's honest, real, more than they ever gave me. Then the big break comes. It's a muggy Thursday late afternoon. The sun dips low, painting the garage gold. A guy rolls in mid-40s leather jacket, driving a '72 Camaro that's seen better days. His grin splits wide. "Holy kid, you're a wizard," he says, handing me a wad of cash, more than I quoted in a business card. "We've got to meet next month. 10 cars, all classics. You in?" "Yeah," I say, pocketing the card. I'm in. He peels out, tires squealing, and Sam whoops, tossing a rag at me. "That's it, man. We're golden." I catch the rag, and for the first time since that damn wedding, I smile, real, unguarded, stretching my face until it hurts. It's not just a deal. It's the weight lifting, the proof piling up. I don't think Emily's wondering anymore if she picked the wrong side. The garage doors are up, the breeze cutting through the heat. Sam's cracking open a couple of beers and hands me one to clink. To the climb, he says, clinking the bottle against mine. I take a swig, cold and sharp, lean against the workbench. The Mustang's gone. Tony's card is in my pocket, and the future is humming louder than any engine. They're falling. I'm rising. And damn, it feels good. 3 years since I walked out, and now I'm standing in a ballroom. Tony's car club having hooked me up after that first job. Now I'm the guy they call for classics that need a soul. I've got a crew of 6, a second shop opening next month, and a reputation that's spread far enough to land me here. I'm not just surviving, I'm a player. The crowd parts as I move, nods and murmurs trailing me. That's Carter, someone whispers, impressed. I keep my head up, shoulders square, but inside there's a kick. Pride? Yeah, but something fiercer. I earned this, every damn inch. I spot Emily standing off to the side alone. No Daniel in sight. Her dress is simple for her old self. She's thinner, shoulders hunched, clutching a glass like it's a lifeline. They're not here for cars. I bet my shop on it. They're here for scraps, clinging to whatever's left of their old world. And then they spot me. Anne moves first, heels clicking sharply against the polished floor. Emily trailing like a shadow. I turn back to the Chicago guy wrapping up quickly. I'll email you the quote, he says, clapping my shoulder. Oblivious, I catched a faint tremble in Emily's hands. Cut the crap, I say, low enough that only they hear. You didn't give a damn about my potential when you shoved me to the back. Anne's smile tightens. That was a misunderstanding. Water under the bridge, surely, she says, stepping closer, voice dropping. We could use your help now, Aaron. Things have been difficult. The house, some investments. It's a mess. You were always so good at fixing things. Emily finally looks up, eyes wide, pleading. Please, Aaron, just hear us out. Little car game won't last. You'll come crawling back. Emily cuts in, sharp and sudden, but it's too late. The room shifts, heads turning, whispers rippling out. A guy nearby snickers loud enough to sting, and I see it the moment their masks slip. Anne's hand tightens on her purse. Emily's glass tips, splashing wine down her dress. A waiter rushes over, but the damage is done. People are staring, pointing, and Anne's voice is shrill. It's fine, she says, but it only makes it worse. They're crumbling right here in the headlights. I pause by my truck, not the old beater I sold, but a new one, paid in cash from last quarter's profits. The expo still humming behind me, deals closing, my name on lips that matter. Sam's inside, probably charming some buyer, and I'll join him in a minute. But right now, I lean against the hood, breathing deep. The air tastes clean, sharp with possibility. They're in there, drowning in their own ruin. Maybe Anne's yelling at Emily. Maybe Emily's crying into her stained dress. It doesn't matter. I started with nothing. Now, I've got this. The air smells like grilled burgers and gasoline, a mix that's become my comfort zone. The sun dips low, painting the sky orange, and laughter spills out from the crowd sprawled across the lawn. Sam's flipping patties on the grill, his apron streaked with grease, yelling at Nora to stop stealing fries. She's perched on a picnic table, sketching something on a napkin, her dark hair falling over one eye as she grins back at him. These are my people, earned not given. And tonight, they're sitting around a rough table, loud, real, and I'm right where I belong. Sam hollers over, waving a spatula. Boss, you gonna eat or just stand there looking pretty? The crew laughs. Jake's here too, sprawled in a lawn chair with a beer, plus a few regulars who've turned into friends. Nora slides off the table, holding up her sketch, a cartoon of Sam, wrestling with the grill flames, shooting everywhere for the shop wall. She hands it to me. I take it, smirking. She's been around a year now, a painter who wandered into this whole circus. They're my shadows now, irrelevant to me. I'm not the type to dance on gray, but word gets around, even out here. Jake's the one who brings it up, tossing a crumpled tabloid onto the table. Saw this at the gas station, he says, grinning like a kid with a secret. I lean over, squinting at the headline, Socialite in Middleton, files for bankruptcy after fraud scandal. Below it, a grainy pic of her outside a courthouse, sunglasses hiding her eyes, lips tight. Emily's mentioned too, living in some run-down apartment now, dragging out a cooler of ice cream. And the night rolls on. I lean back, watching the flames lick the air, and let my mind drift. It's been a hell of a climb leaving that house, crashing on Jake's couch, pouring everything into the garage. There were days I doubted, nights I woke up gripping the sheets, sure I'd fail, but I didn't. I kept going, one wrench turn at a time. And here I am, not perfect, not rich beyond reason, but steady and whole. The fire's dying down when Sam claps me on the shoulder. We made it, man. But for who I am, that's the win. The quiet kind that settles deep. I clear my throat, voice steady. To the seats we earned. The clinks echo sharp and clear, and we drink. The beer's cold, the night's warm, and for the first time in years, I'm not looking over my shoulder. Anne and Emily are out there somewhere, fading into yesterday's news. But I'm here rooted, content, free. The fire spits one last spark into the dark, and I settle back into my chair, the porch creaking under me. This is my table, my life. See you soon, I whisper.